Friday. I'm here with a Facebook Live, and I don't know if it looks a little bit different on your end, but I'm trying to use my laptop rather than my phone just because I get more of the wider screen. So we're going to try it out today, so bear with me. But I wanted to talk today about a super fun topic, and by fun, I don't mean it's fun at all, but it's important. It's super important, especially with um, measuring your organic social media efforts. And so today we're going to be talking about social media analytics and kind of understanding them, understanding why they're important, kind of things that you should be looking out for, and just kind of being comfortable in your analytics platform or whatever way you use your insights. So I wanted to talk about this because as I'm definitely not a numbers person. I am not a math person. I'm very much a creative and free flowing kind of person. So when it comes to logic and numbers and measuring and looking at data, that's definitely not my forte. However, I've realized over the past year of managing social media platforms that if you're not comfortable looking at the numbers, specifically on your business pages, your Facebook, your Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever it is, if you're not looking at it at least once a week and understanding how it's reflecting your business, you might actually be driving your business page to the ground, essentially, because we'll get into it. So we'll talk about four main things. So first, we're going to talk about um, the best purpose. Excuse me. What's the first one? Okay, we're going to talk about the best purpose for organic social media when it comes to your business. So understanding why do you use organic social media in the first place. The second thing we're going to be talking about is specific metrics to look at, things that are considered vanity metrics, things that are more reflective of the impact on your bottom line and kind of understanding those two things. And then third, we're going to talk about making decisions. So understanding not only how to look at your analytics, but how to make decisions from your analytics. All right. So I'm super excited to get into it. It's something that I've been challenging myself to understand more, especially as I'm working with more clients. And so I wanted to share this with you as well. So, all right. Number one, the best purpose for organic social media, or the reason why you should use organic social media for your business, it basically, organic social media really serves three purposes, I guess I would say. So it's really good at increasing your reach, kind of your brand awareness. It's really good at engagement, so being able to engage with potential clients, prospects, people in your community, even networking with other business owners. And then finally, it could potentially lead to, okay, sorry, let me take a step back. Another reason is driving traffic to your website. So a lot of times you might not have the budget to do Facebook ads or have online advertisements. So, organic social media is a great way to drive traffic to your website. And finally, if you do it correctly, if you do all these things correctly, you could potentially get leads from organic social media. But I'll be quite honest with you and say that you shouldn't expect leads from your organic social media. I think it's definitely a benefit of the work that you put into it if you're truly dedicated to your organic social media. And it's not just about posting on your page, it's about, engaging with other people and other brands as well. Um, if you're doing all those things and you're doing your work on the back end to follow up with people that you connect with on social media and stuff like that, then you could potentially get leads. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend and say that, yes, you're going to get leads from um, your organic social media efforts. Unfortunately, that's just not the case unless you have a super huge platform or you're constantly putting out content every single day and you're applying a whole bunch of strategies and this is your one and only thing, I'm just going to be very honest with you. It could get you that, but it's not guaranteed. But the most common purpose that businesses use social media is just to increase their brand awareness and to engage with people in their community and build relationships. So yeah, so those are kind of the main things. So brand awareness, like I said, engaging with others, also driving traffic to your website, which could potentially lead to leads, and then essentially actually capturing leads too, if you're doing everything correctly. Um, so yeah, and I will say you can't also just depend on social media for marketing either. If it's your only um, if it's your only way that you're trying to get leads and you're not really doing anything outside, you're not networking, you're not doing other things, I don't think it'll be beneficial to you. Okay, moving on. So, number two, metrics. So, let's kind of talk about the metrics that are considered vanity metrics and metrics that actually could potentially impact your bottom line. So, there's a lot of things and there's different things depending on the platform. But I will say that your most common are reach, which is the amount of people that you're reaching with your um, posts. So reach, likes, and comments is considered engagement. So, and also shares as well. But most likely or most commonly, likes and comments are considered engagement. Shares would be also people who are kind of wanting to promote your brand. So it's not only engagement, it's kind of a step above it. It's someone is loves so much of what you share that they want to share it with others. So I would consider sharing kind of engagement, but it's also kind of a step above it. So shares is really important because that shows that you're sharing content that is shareable, which is kind of the point, right? So reach, likes, shares, comments, saves is actually pretty important too. I don't see it so much on Facebook, but definitely on Instagram. If people are saving your post, that means that they're kind of bookmarking it and they want to come back to it for later. So that really means that you're creating content that people want to return back to and they actually see you as an authority in your industry, which is a good thing. So saves is kind of an unsung hero when it comes to analytics. I will say that likes and comments, well, not comments, but likes mostly are considered vanity metrics. Yes, it is important because obviously the more people like your posts, the more that the algorithm is going to push out your post because it's good content. However, I wouldn't consider likes. Don't freak out if you're not constantly getting a bunch of likes. I think things like if people are commenting and engaging, and also, if people are wanting to continue the conversation, like maybe even if they message you from a post that you made, that definitely speaks more volumes than the amount of likes that you'll receive on a post. However, likes are still important because they help you push out the algorithm, so don't forget that. Don't think that it's not important, but don't freak out if you're not getting a whole bunch of likes all the time. It's really a vanity metric. Um, Something else, if you're sharing videos, video views is really important. Specifically, in your analytics platform, you can see how long people view videos. And that's really important too, because that shows how much people are willing to sit through a video with you to learn about what you're talking about. So video views is really important. However, I will say the one metric that closely shows the impact on your bottom line is link clicks because that means people are taking making a micro conversion essentially, which means that they're willing to take an action that you ask them to take and do whatever it is that you're asking them to do. So a lot of times people will share a link and then ask for, hey, go to my website to check out my blog or whatever. If people are actually clicking on that link, that's that shows that they're they like you enough to get off the platform that they're on and essentially go to your website, because you're essentially disrupting them, right? You're telling them, hey, get off this platform and go to my platform and look at my stuff. And you don't realize how disruptive that is. And it's not a bad thing. But what I'm saying is, if people are willing to excuse me, disrupt their time on social media, because obviously they're there for a certain reason, right? They're willing to disrupt it, click on a link and go to wherever you're asking them to. That's a bigger commitment than you think. So, however, I will say chasing link clicks isn't. It's not like you'll be able to see how many people, from a link click are able to, eventually sign up for your service or whatever it is. But it's probably the closest thing when it comes to your organic social media efforts that you can kind of measure, okay, maybe it is working, maybe it is impacting my bottom line. And it's also able to show what content is resonating with them the most, because if they're taking action on it, then that means that it resonated with them. So you should replicate that content, which kind of goes into my third point that we're going to talk about today, which is making decisions with your social media analytics. I will say, and when I started out, I was very guilty of this, but I would basically just create whatever I wanted to create when it comes to content. And I wasn't really social listening. I wasn't kind of looking at my audience and seeing what they're resonating with and what they need. So as you continue growing your social media platform, it's important to at least look at your analytics maybe once a week, but definitely at least monthly, to see what posts are performing well, what posts aren't performing well, and then making decisions from there to replicate that content. So, and the thing is too, is that you have to look at your reach, look at your engagements, look at your link clicks, look at video views, and kind of create, see the average. So what is the average, what is your average reach per month? What is your average engagement rate, or your average link clicks, or whatever it is? And then create a benchmark for that. So like that's kind of your benchmark that you could look at to see in the future, okay, this post didn't reach the benchmark that I usually do, so that means that it's not resonating with my audience. Or this benchmark really did well, or this post really did well because it went above my benchmark, which means I should probably replicate that more. All right, so the biggest thing is that if you're continuing to create content just because it feels good or just because it's easy and it's not really working, then don't continue it, because Albert Einstein says that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. A lot of times I'll have people come to me and say, social media is just not working for me. And I look at their platform and I realize that they're just posting the same things over and over again, and they weren't willing to try something new. So if something isn't working, if posts aren't engaging with your audience, try something new, try something different. Maybe see what type of content resonates more. So whether it's video or whether it's photos or blogs or infographics, whatever it is. Your analytics should inform your tactics. So meaning when you post, the type of content that you post, whether it's um, videos, photos, blogs, whatever it is, and how often it is, right? So your analytics should inform the tactics, and it should also inform your strategies. So meaning, what are you posting about? What type of information are you putting out there? And things like that. So those were kind of the three things that I wanted to talk about. So I just want to recap them really quick. So first, when it comes to organic social media, understand that its main purpose specifically for your business is to build brand awareness, to build engagement, drive traffic to your website, and if it's working really well, potentially leads. Not all the time. You can't depend on organic social media for leads. Um, but if you're dedicated to it enough, it could get you that. But don't be disappointed if you don't get leads right away, especially if you have a long sales cycle. So like if you're selling a house or if you're selling boats or something that costs a lot of money and investment. That's why it's important for organic social media to be building relationships with the potential prospects. That way, by the time that they're ready to buy a house or a boat or a big purchase, that they come to you. So that's something to keep in mind. Purposes for social media. Two, understanding metrics. So things like likes and followers, they're considered vanity metrics. They're important because it helps the algorithm push out more of your content, but don't view it as something that's impacting your bottom line. I would rather be more focused on things like link clicks, people who are sharing your posts, people who are viewing your videos, how long are they viewing your videos, is anyone commenting, are people having conversations with your posts, or maybe if someone even messages you a few months later or a few weeks later after the fact saying, hey, I saw this post about blah 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 and it really inspired me. Things like that are what kind of drive, show the impact on your bottom line when it comes to your social media efforts. And also something I didn't mention was audience. So make sure that you, once in a while, you look into your insights section and you see who your audience is. It'll usually show whether it's male or female, where are they from, if it's like local, if they're outside or whatever, outside of your area. That way you know who you're talking to. So those are the metrics and kind of things to think about. And then the third thing is make sure that you're creating benchmarks. So make sure at least every month you're looking at your average reach, your average engagement rate, the average amount of actions taken. So like clicking on links and stuff like that, and create it as a benchmark. And then moving forward, you can see whether posts are either meeting that benchmark, not meeting that benchmark. And then from there, that should be informing the type of content you make in the future. So yeah, I really think that's all I had today. If you have any questions, or if you have just things that kind of, I don't know, something you learned something new, let me know in the comments, or just comment like nice or like yay or thanks or whatever it is. I'd love to hear your input, and let me know if you have any suggestions for videos in the future. I'll usually come live on Facebook at 9 on Fridays. So I'd love to create more content that is relevant to you. And yeah, so thanks so much. Great advice. Know your numbers. That's right. That's right, Sean. Definitely know your numbers. Super important. All right, so I'm going to head out now. Hope you all have a great Friday and a wonderful weekend, and I'll talk to you next Friday. Bye, guys. Thanks. Thanks, Mom. Love you. Okay, bye. Ooh.